Hello everyone, I am Alex Chepurnoy, also known as Kushti. I am a co-developer of the Ergo protocol, and this time I am going to give a talk on Chaincash, which is a monetary system to create money collectively via trust and blockchain assets in peer-to-peer fashion, and also in an elastic way. So let me provide some details. What does it mean? And let's start with motivation. So currently we have an issue in the space about inelasticity of blockchain asset supply, which is blocking real-world usage of blockchain assets in many cases. So supply of cryptocurrencies and blockchain tokens is not elastic. It means it's disconnected from economic activity. So for cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoin, Ergo, Cardano, Ethereum, and so on, we do witness algorithmic money issuance. So supply is a function of time. Well, in case of blockchain, of blockchain number only. So we do not have any other inputs in monetary supply function. Algorithmic stablecoins, whether over collateralized in cryptocurrencies, so using cryptocurrencies in the reserves with over collateralization, which means that the supply cannot exceed supply of underlying cryptocurrencies, or if they are not over collateralized, they are usually too risky to be used in real world economy. Other tokens have similar issues. So if we are talking about centralized stablecoins, they have issues about centralized parties behind them. So we are going away from all the beauties of the blockchain technology at all. If we are talking about tokens where supply is a subject of governance, then yeah, we have a lot of issues with governance mechanisms usually. And it's still a very new field. So we need to spend a lot of time to understand how to do issuance of tokens properly here, and so on. And at the same time, we need for elastic borderless creation of money with good quality. So we have a lot of examples these days where it's really needed, especially with observed shortage of offshore dollars, right? So throughout the 2022, well, DXY index, which is showing US dollar strength in regards with other currencies, was at record levels. And well, many places around the world reported well, dollars shortage. And well, for international trade, it's still not very convenient to use other options. So some headlines I found in like 2 minutes. So from December, I guess, if my memory serves me well, Ghana plans to buy oil with gold, so physical gold instead of US dollars. Another news, Egypt's import squeeze hobbles economy as dollars run short. And it's not a problem to find much more similar headlines. And then, how can the blockchain technology propose solutions for that? Cryptocurrencies do have big volatility. In particular because supply is disconnected from economic activity. And if you are talking about stable coins solving issues with volatility, how can over collateralized stable coins satisfy real economy needs if the supply is limited as well? Let's think what do we want to achieve in order to solve problems, and what do we want to have. So we want to have a decentralized peer-to-peer monetary system, as usually. So without external control, our issuance and acceptance of money. We want it to be location independent, so anyone can join from any place with no any limits, like it's already happening with cryptocurrencies. And we also want to have elastic supply, which means that anyone can issue money at any time. And then it's the question of acceptance, right? So if anyone can issue money, then how this system could be limited in regards with quality of money. Right, if we are working in the setting of decentralized peer-to-peer monetary system, that is acceptance now is conditional, right? So anyone can issue money, but then it's a question of acceptance, so whether I'm accepting money created by you or not. And as a solution for that, we are starting with studying some historical peer-to-peer monetary systems, and we started with spender signed currency, also known as VAT system, which was created by H. Morino first, and members of Giselle Society in Japan, and then electronic version of it. So initially it was a paper money system, and then electronic alternative IWAT was created by Kenji Shaito. And there is a paper in English in addition to original writings, which are mostly in Japanese. So the name of the paper is Peer-to-Peer Money, Free Currency over the Internet, and it is covering IWAT system. And by the way, you can visit VAT Systems website, which is, in addition to documentation in Japanese, also contains some documentation in English and German. Right, but I'm going to describe you spender signed currency simply here. So as a unit of account, we are using already somewhat established unit of account. So watt system is actually using kilowatt per hour as a unit of account. So money is denominated in kilowatt per hours, basically. And then how money creation and spending works. So let's consider the following example. So Alice issues a watt ticket, right, with some nominal. Then she, for example, pays Bob with it, right, and then Bob in turn can also spend it. So to do that, Bob signs it and pays, for example, Charlie with it, and then Charlie also signs and pays Diana with it, and so on, and when the ticket somehow returns to Alice, to issuer, the liquidation of the ticket happens. And in that original system, signatures list shows collective trust Alice has, along with tickets issued by her, so along with her money. So then it could be considered as a kind of web of trust system. Web of trust is a term used to describe peer-to-peer approaches to establish public key infrastructure back in 90s and early 2000s. All right, and then we are modifying the idea of spender signed currency. Right, so now we have blockchain, so the nodes are on the blockchain. Right, and now we also allowing for collateralization. So every member of the system may have reserves in Ergs or other digital tokens, such as SecUSD, algorithmic stablecoins, RSV, NFTs, application tokens such as SPF, auction house tokens, Pidea, ErgoPads, and so on. Also, we can imagine usage of tokenized real-world assets and centralized stablecoins, so USDT, USDC, so tokenized real-world gold with some trusted party holding physical reserves back in the tokens, and so on. And we allow everyone to issue notes of arbitrary values, dependless on whether this party has reserves or not. Right, and then a note may be accepted by a counterparty, and your counterparty is estimating quality of your notes, and so then informing you about acceptance or non-acceptance of it, depending on collateral, collective collateral. So reserves, and also trust, possibly. Right, and we allow a node to be redeemed against any reserves of its previous spenders. Right, so a little bit more details about the system we are calling Chaincash. So we are using now gold as a unit of account. So one Chaincash token is about 1 milligram of gold. And let's consider the following example. So Alice, which is having some reserve in Ergs, for example, well, or CQSD or NFTs or whatever, issues a node. So she pays Bob with ETH. So let's consider that Bob is accepting ETH. So Bob is considering Alice reserves. Well, in comparison with nodes signed by Alice before as okay, right? So then Bob accepts the node, and Bob signs it and pays, for example, Charlie with it. And now Charlie is estimating the node's quality by having two reserves backing the node, so Alice and Bob's. So then Charlie, for example, signs it and pays Diana with it. And Diana, for example, well, after accepting the nodes, redeems it in Ergs, for example, according to gold price delivered by a trusted oracle against Bob's reserve. Alright, and let's consider another example. So Charlie running a charity, for example, and then he's issuing a note without having any reserves even, in order to sponsor some activities for his charity. Then Alice, for example, accepts this note because Charlie has been whitelisted by her just, so Alice is accepting Charlie's notes without any reserves. So she then pays Bob with it, right? And now Bob is seeing Alice reserve attached to the node, and yeah, Bob may also trust Charlie, for example, right? Maybe not, so maybe Bob just considering Alice reserve. But anyway, let's consider that Bob accepts the note and then signs it and pays Charlie with it. And now Charlie may redeem the note against Alice reserve. Alright, and well, from this example, well, we see how elasticity appears in this system, right? So one can issue a note without having any reserves, right? And well, such notes could be accepted, as well as under collateralized notes can be accepted. So you may have different collateralization levels for different economic circles you're involved in, and so on, so on. So then this system may well basically means money till someone is accepting newly creating nodes. Right, and the nodes during spanning are also improving quality. Right, so with time, money, the nodes not redeemed are getting better and better. Okay, now about implementation. So we have layer 2 contracts only at the moment. I'm thinking, well, just a little bit at the moment, to be honest, about layer 2 implementation, but it seems feasible. So layer 1 implementation is about 2 contracts for the nodes and for reserve. And reserve contract supports only Ergo for now, and using Gold's Oracle, trusted Oracle. Then nodes may be redeemed against reserve using price from the Oracle, and the contract for nodes is supporting change, and also spanning multiple nodes in a single transaction. So basically with those contracts on top of Ergo blockchain, we have well embedded UTXO style monetary system with different unit of account, right? So gold instead of Erg, and we also using different rules, right, with reserves and possible redemption. So you can find contracts in a repository, Chaincash repository. Then off-chain logic also implemented during the ErgoHack to some degree. And for off-chain logic, I can say that this is the very important and maybe the most important part, actually, right? So, well, I hope I've already shown that this Chaincash system could allow for very flexible behavior of its participants, and well, in case of on-chain contracts, so the flexibility comes from the off-chain part, right, which is not contradicting to conditions we have on-chain. So off-chain logic is able to track different node and reserve contracts on layer 1 now, and possibly on layer 2 later. Then we may have different contracts, right? So upgrade contracts and support more options for reserves, right? So custom tokens, not just ERCs, NFTs, different oracles, and so on. The off-chain part is also able to support different nodes acceptance predicates with custom whitelists and so on, right? And also it's able to support different redemption mechanisms, right? So if you hold some unspent nodes, then your off-chain software you are running may apply different strategies for redeeming the nodes depending on many factors, right, of the Chaincash economic system, and other parts of the equation, right, such as timing, maybe, Oracle pricing, Oracle conditions, and so on, so on. It's still to be shown, but I think it's pretty feasible to show that. Yeah, it's skipped for now, not implemented. That's with Chaincash you can do actually other complementary currency systems, such as local exchange trading system, local currencies, and so on, right? So for example, for LEDs, it seems what's needed is just to whitelist other LEDs members, right? Then you may have exchange with other economic agents globally, but inside your local circles, let's you just trust other members and accept their notes unconditionally, without estimating collateral. For layer 2, it's still to consider options how to get from layer 1 nodes to some objects on layer 2, and how to make progress on layer 2, and so on. So seems to be feasible, but a lot of details to consider. That's pretty much it. I would be happy to hear feedback. Please feel free to reach me, and here you have links for Ergo platform, my Twitter, and Ergo Telegram. To find a repository, the link is not provided here, unfortunately. So just search for Chaincash on GitHub. You can also find updates on my Twitter. That's it. Thank you for your attention, and have enjoyable Ergo Summit.